Hello, and welcome to the Reset Spiritually channel. I am your host, I'm SR. We're going to be in this. If you like to hear more of this information, please remember to like and subscribe. In this video, we will be discussing certain things in terms of how you damage yourself psychologically, psychically, and spiritually when you are not being positive. So, regardless, this is the purpose of this video is to make you aware of that. Regardless of the circumstances in our lives, it is our responsibility to find ways to think positively at all time, because the way we damage ourselves when we are not positive is it's very destructive, and we don't realize that because we do it subconsciously, and we have been literally programmed to damage ourselves without realizing it. Everything is set up around us by design to help us damage ourselves, whether we're aware of it or not, consciously or subconsciously. So I will just be go into details. So how do you damage yourself psychologically? Psychologically, you damage yourself by when you accept failure, or accepting when you accept thoughts like of failure. Perhaps you want to try something, or you're thinking of failure. I'm never good for this. Oh, this will not work. Oh, this will not happen. Oh, they will not accept this. Or this. Those are all thoughts of failure. And as a result, what happens is that the thoughts of failure becomes part of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your memory bank. So it goes into your subconscious mind, it registers with your thoughts. Every thought is registered into the subconscious mind, whether we realize it or not. And as a result, it has to manifest one way or another in the physical world. And that's just the way it works, folks. I'm not, don't kill the messenger. I'm just sharing with you clear, basic metaphysical knowledge from the ancient mystics. As a metaphysician, I can only say that's a fact. Thoughts are energy. So when we think positively, we manifest positive results. And we think negatively, we manifest negative results. This is just, it's inevitable. So as a result, if you keep thinking negatively that you will fail, any situation or anything negative, it only will lead to difficulties in the future. It's only going to create a lots and lots of problems for you in the future by thinking of failure or thoughts of failure or anything negative. That's so because it's registered. Once you think of something, it's registered in the subconscious mind automatically by default. And this is the reason we have been programmed to think all the time, because by thinking we are constantly nurturing thoughts, and if the thoughts are not positive, we could be doing ourselves a major disfavor in that sense. But moving along into the next one that I mentioned, I said could damage yourself not only psychologically, so I also said psychically. Now, how do you damage yourself psychically? You damage yourself psychically by failing, by not maintaining a positive attitude. This is how you damage yourself psychically. Because psychically, the psychic world exists, folks. It exists around all of us. It's all around the psychic world. Psychic energy is a powerful energy. So when we are thinking negatively, we are putting out negative thoughts out into the psychic atmosphere. And this is the reason they say, psychic healing, energy healing works on a psychic format, in the sense that when we think negatively of a person, we can actually harm the person. But you don't want to do that, obviously, because you understand karma has to balance itself at the end. But this is the power of psychic energy. So therefore, this is why we have to make it our responsibility to nurture positive thoughts at all time, because psychically we are damaging ourselves with negative thoughts. So for example, if you were to think that you will never achieve this, or you will never be good at this, I can literally guarantee you will never achieve that, because it's in the psychic atmosphere. You have put it out there telepathically into the psychic atmosphere. So as a result, it's just never will materialize. what will happen is what you have, what your thoughts were, but not what could have happened have you if you were thinking more positively. And so this is the reason, because telepathically you're radiating out, you're radiating out your energy, your vibration is going out there, and it's telling other people, that you will fail because you're thinking you will fail. Other people will think the same thing because energy is exchanged automatically, psychically, by default. As we all exchange energy because we are all the same. We all came from one source. So what's in me, it's in you, it's in them. We are all one. By failing to realize that, we don't realize that we are constantly communicating with each other psychically, whether we are aware of it or not. This is the reason when we meet a excuse the noise. This is the reason when we meet a person, sometimes the person could say, well, I don't like her, I don't like him. I pick up an energy because it's an energy that we're putting out there and people are picking up on it. Sometimes people pick up a good energy from you, but because they have a bad energy, they're not comfortable in your presence. So they have to find a way to exit away from you, get away from you. And sometimes people pick up a bad energy from you and they are good energetic people. They could feel the low energy that you're bringing in. So usually those people with high energy, positive energy, they know how to manipulate the lower energy in front of them, so they are not really as intimidated because they know what to do. But when you're dealing with low energy people in front of a high energy person, they usually turn very aggressive because they do not feel comfortable in the presence of a high energy, positive energy person. So you will attract, psychically, when you think negatively, you will attract negative conditions. This is just the way it works. You will manifest that, whatever some negative, some failure will occur. So that was number 2. So I discussed the psychological damage, the psychic damage. We're gonna go into the spiritual damage. You spiritually damage yourself when you put out a negative attitude through your thoughts. Your thoughts are energy. What I'm thinking about right now is pure energy. And if I'm thinking of love, then it's just what will happen. It's love. But if I'm thinking of something negative, it's just another energy. It's negative energy. So there is, if we understand the law of one, right? We're all one. There's only one creation. All creation came out of one source. One God, one universal infinite creator created everything, regardless when it's good or bad. There's no good or bad really in actuality. It's just that there's different desires. If a person desires to suffer, the person will suffer because the person is thinking negatively. So the creator, the infinite God, the infinite creator will allow it to manifest because the person is thinking of it. Whatever we think of, we get it because God loves us so much. The creator, the infinite creator, the one infinite creator, where we all came from as the source, will allow it to manifest whatever we are thinking of. So spiritually, whatever we are thinking of, if it's not, whether it's negative, it will manifest because it's part of creation. Whatever we think of will have to manifest one way or another. So spiritually, we damage ourselves because we're no longer in contact with our God self. We're no longer creating that pure universal harmony to be in connection with the universal God, the infinite creator, our higher self. So as a result, we don't really we fall apart. We don't really accept our life. We don't have the ability to see our lives the way it really we would like it to be because we are thinking negatively at all times. So this is damaging us in a very, very, very disappointing way. So as a result, I've pointed out all these 3 things, the damages that we can do. I can go into more details, so if you subscribe and like, I can go into more detail on these topics. But what I wanted to provide as in conclusion is that the way to nurture a positive attitude is to find a spiritual foundation in your life. This is the key. And the way to do that is to allow yourself to become spiritual. What do I mean by that? Religion does not mean spirituality in all sense because we have so many different religions. Religion was created by men to divide and conquer, so to confuse. But if we were to focus on spirituality, that is you and the Most High God, the infinite creator, the one infinite creator, the one source, the one infinite intelligence, the infinite energy. If we were to make contact with that one source that is within us, where we came in from, where we came from as our creation, then we start building a true spiritual foundation that is by default the inheritance of humanity. But if we do not, by what I mean by that is, when we follow the universal law, the law of one, we start understand that we are all one. We don't spiritually discriminate against each other, right? Religion discriminates because religion says, my religion is better than your religion, my God is better than your God, my rules are better than your rules, yada yada yada. So this is the reason I said not spiritually does not mean religion. It means building a foundation that on a regular basis, and by being continuously in contact with the most infinite creator, the one infinite creator, the most high, the almighty. And by building that, we would be automatically guided into following a spiritual foundation, which in the end is the key essence of the existence of humanity. The whole purpose of being on earth, which is a three-dimensional plane, a three-dimensional entity, is to evolve spiritually. Spiritual evolution is the key of being human. There's no other reason for coming on earth, because either if you on earth, you came from three different locations. Either you came from a two-dimensional plane, that is, you've evolved from two-dimensional to three-dimension, or you came in from a different planet, that is, you came from a planet that was a three-dimensional. Maybe that planet got destroyed, as there are a few planets that got destroyed that were three dimensions, and then you came into this dimension to continue your three dimension, because you will not allow to be move up to a higher dimension if you are a three-dimensional entity. You have to be moved to another planet that is three-dimension to continue. Another source that on Earth are star seeds. Those are, what do you call them, indigo crystals. They've been coming in here for the last 100 years. I'll do a video on that. Star seeds are also from another dimension, but they are not. They're from higher dimension. They from, I don't know, most of them are from the fifth, the sixth dimension, most star seeds. And there are a couple, it's not very common, that are from the fourth dimension. I'll do a video on dimensions and explain. But the point is I'm trying to make is that everybody who's here on Earth, whether they are 100% human or not, the whole purpose is to evolve to spiritually. Because as you evolve spiritually, that is the source of your true happiness, the source of your true existence, the source of your true spiritual powers. And that is the reason that everything is being done to block you from really making that true, genuine contact with true spirituality. And that's why it's not being promoted. The true spirituality, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, but the true essence of spirituality, which is the inner connection, the inner foundation between you and the infinite creator, the one infinite creator, which is in you, and making that connection. And that's being neglected to some degree. I mean, to very, very much, pretty much. So this was the purpose of this video, is to make you realize that you do damage yourself drastically by thinking negatively, and psychically, psychologically, and spiritually. And in order to avoid this damage, it would best to consider focusing on establishing a spiritual foundation by merging into a spiritual life, your spiritual growth, your spiritual path, your spiritual journey. I will be doing another video on how to get started on your spiritual journey. For anyone who's interested, it's going to be uploaded on this channel pretty soon. Until then, I send you love, light, peace, and thank you for your time. Thank you. Peace.